Hello, I'm Gary Lee, and welcome to my Baker and Grand Ronde Railroad. This is a extension of my HO&3 hobby that I had as a young man, and for many years I went dormant and discovered garden railroading 11 years ago. And the railway you're viewing is the works of the last 9 years of building a railroad outdoors. The railway began in the winter of 2003 here in Baker City, the interior portion of my railroad. It represents the eastern terminus of the line and the yard, the main engine facilities, etc. And it's an ongoing works in progress. I have several two-dimensional buildings planned to go against the backdrop, and I have a couple of projects that I'm working on that'll actually be freestanding out here. Painted backdrop. I hired one of my cousins actually painted that for me. My main interest is narrow gauge. I'm a Western history buff, and the role the railroad played in developing the West. So I'm very interested in the mountain railroads of Colorado and New Mexico and the West, Oregon. Sumter Valley is one of my inspirations. And my railway, the Baker and Grand Ronde, is a fictitious line that traverses the Blue Mountains of eastern Oregon in 1880, when gold and discovery of the large ponderosa pines for lumber was a new challenge for everyone and an opportunity for many people to become rich. So thus my little railway was an ambitious attempt to cross the Blue Mountains to connect the Union Pacific with the Sumter Valley. The line is a continual progression going west. It runs from the city of Baker City in eastern Oregon, again fictitious, but over the Blues in a plausible way, to the town of the terminus is at Ukiah. And the new construction you see in the video is the western end of the line at Ukiah. I'm very scale and proportion specific, so therefore when I entered the hobby in 1990, or in the late 90s I should say, the manufacturers were just transitioning from a lot of half-inch scale products to the true 120.3 scale. A half-inch scale was a predominant scale in the outdoor stuff, and it faded over the years. I chose half-inch scale because I thought it would be an easy to work with. I'm a designer guy by trade anyway, and so half-inch scale is a very comfortable thing for me to do. I'm most interested in the whole hobby is in building and creating the scene. Running the trains, yes, I have interest in it, and I want to do it in a very prototypical manner. But in the big scheme of things, I like to build models and create a scene that is realistic, and so that's my desire, and represents the things that I'm interested in, the Old West and the 1880s and the railroads of that time. All of the equipment on my line, which I own 6 locomotives, they've all been converted to radio-controlled battery. And I think I have one of each of the manufacturers too. I've got a Loco-Link, I've got Airwire, I've got the new Revolution. I like the idea that you can set a locomotive down on the ground, pick up a remote control controller, and turn it, and it's going to move. Another part of the thing, when I was young in HO&3 in my former layout, I hand laid all my track, and I discovered that I really liked it. It was a therapeutic exercise for me to go through, and I really like the way it looks. So on the Baker and Grand Ronde, I'm approaching 600 feet of main line alone, plus I don't know how many feet of sidings and accessory lines, and I got a branch line as well. So I've hand laid quite a bit of track. My railway is unique in the respect that the turnouts are all stub turnout style too, which was very common prior to the turn of the 19th century. I chose to do that because it was something I could incorporate into my hand-laid track work, something I'd done in the past, and I just basically converted it to a larger scale.